broadcasting. Touchdowns. Shut your mouth, broadcasting. First round draft pick. Believe we got stats, kid. Quarterback stacking. 100-yard dashing. So tap in for the action. What teams got traction?
Welcome to the Sim Podcast Show. I'm your co-host Sirik, and I'm always joined by my co-host Ron. What up, Ron?
What's going on?
You know what we do? We talk about the national football on a weekly basis, including the playoffs. Ron, we just had week number 11. We're going into week 12. How are you feeling about the season so far?
Well, before we get into that, let me just say happy birthday.
It's my birthday.
How did you spend it?
Listen, when you have kids and a wife, you can't just go buck wild. And today was, we're doing this before Thanksgiving. It's a holiday. You're supposed to. I remember way back in the day when I was like in my 20s, I used to love this day. There was no work. The clubs were open, just hang out. But now it's different.
Yeah.
The most exciting thing that we did today was go out to eat Mexican. And then we're like, oh, should we have dessert? Oh, but we have cake back home. Oh, but we still want dessert. Those are the kind of issues that matter now. Back then, it was like, oh, can I get buzz from this? And can I get, blah, blah, blah. But now it's different. So, yeah.
Well, you and I, we got to go out and have an official celebration.
Yeah, we do.
It's not going to be that much different than that because we're old. And, so, we'll go out. My birthday's coming up in a couple weeks too, so we got to go celebrate. But you were asking about how I feel. I feel great because my coordinator's been fired. Matt Canada's been fired. I know we'll talk about that when we get into the news. 6-4 could be a lot worse for the Steelers. I'm have some optimism now. We've taken the first step to making our team better, and I'm looking forward to these next 7-8 games, whatever's left in the rest of the season.
And we will talk about the Matt Canada firing when we do the NFL news, and we'll do the week 11 recap. We'll do our power rankings, and then we'll do our upset specials and our week 12 predictions. So let's get on with NFL news. And like we just talked about, Matt Canada is out. Ron, what does it mean? Does this end your 3-year of complaining how bad the offense was? Is the offense going to be better now? Like 10 times better? What does it mean?
It's a step in the right direction. Matt Canada has been horrific. Didn't have any NFL experience to begin with when he was hired. It was a bad hire. Plain and simple. His last, his resume in the NFL has been terrible. And they probably should have made the decision at the end of last year. I know they probably felt that they had won a bunch of games in a row, and things looked up. But they should have probably walked away and moved away from Matt Canada at the end of the season. They didn't do that. They had an opportunity when they, start the year well, had their bye week, could have made a change there. They didn't. But after this loss this week, things boiling over in the locker room and stuff, I think Tomlin finally said, enough is enough. He was just being stubborn, I think. And he finally had to pull the plug on that experiment. So what do I expect going forward? I don't expect much to change this season. I think the players are naturally going to have a little bit of energy. That's what I'm hoping for. And I hope that turns into, better results. Schematically, though, I don't expect too much to change. We just got to, like all the players have been saying, they got to just go out and execute better. They got to scheme better. They got to be able to make adjustments faster. And, that's all we can hope for the rest of the way. And then, for Kenny, we have to see some progress with his development. He's been terrible this season. There's some people calling for him to be benched. Steelers aren't going to do that. They're going to stick with him, which I think is the right thing to do. He needs to improve. Got to see the field better, make better throws. So that's all I'm hoping for. Whether that takes us into the playoffs, a win in the playoffs, a first round exit, doesn't matter. I just want to see some improvement from here on out.
I mean, when I look at the Steelers' remaining games, they're all cake.
Yeah.
They're all cakewalks, except for the last game against Baltimore. I mean, you got the Patriots there. You got the Bengals with Burrow-less. You got the Colts, very beatable. You got the Cardinals, very, very beatable. And then you got the Bengals again. So, listen. Best case scenario, you can go 5-1, maybe.
Best case.
Best case. I mean, a terrific case would be 6-0, but I don't know how that Baltimore game is gonna happen. But I mean, the Seahawks might give you a fight, but it seems like they're not the same Seahawks that they were last year.
Yeah.
So, the other bit of news that I wanted to talk about was Bosa got injured again. Is this like a history with him where you just know he's gonna get injured? So why? I know the Chargers gave him this big contract. Oh, was it his brother that got? No, it was his brother got the big contract. Big contract. But I mean, does this make the Chargers less of an elite defense?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's going to hurt them in their pass rushing abilities. Now, where are they in the standings right now? What's their record right now? 4-6. The coach is about to be on the hot seat. He is in the hot seat, right?
Hot seat.
So you're looking up at the Raiders who fired their coach. I don't know. Obviously losing him is going to hurt. So, but I don't know. To your point, he's been injured a lot. He just needs to figure out how he can be on the field more often.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, I don't think the Chargers really had a chance this year. The fact that Bosa leaves exit stage left, I don't think that's such a big deal because the Chargers, they were already not an elite defense to begin with. The fact that they lost him, now you can really, like you said, pass on them. So not much changes. Ron, I left this for last because I want to hear what you think. So Jim Irsay gets arrested, and then he just starts firing shots left and right, talking about, oh, they arrested me because I'm a white billionaire. Now, everyone, of course, had to chime in on this topic, but I want to know what you feel his history of basically saying whatever he wants. Mm-hmm. It's like, I mean, what did you expect? Basically, it's talking about Jim Irsay.
Yeah, that's exactly how I feel. I can care less about what he says. I'm not surprised that he feel like he's privileged. And I'm not surprised that he blames everyone else for his issues. It is what it is. You give people who don't deserve to be billionaires, you make them billionaires, that's what you get. They own NFL teams, or they have other power or control over companies like Musk, for example.
Elon Musk, that's a whole different subject.
But I'm just saying, right? So just because they're rich doesn't mean that they're better. And more often than not, a lot of those folks have a lot of issues behind them.
Yeah, this is I almost don't feel bad for him. I definitely don't feel bad for him. But the fact that he's playing the victim card, it's like, dude, you're not the type to play the victim card. You're not this person that everyone should feel sympathy towards. I'm sorry, just ain't.
He should just, in all honesty, just keep his mouth shut. I think too often we're talking about him and not his team, his players. Started off the season with the whole Taylor situation, right? Taylor didn't want to play for him because he basically told Taylor, keep your mouth shut, the whole running back market and all that crap. So I think, Irsay, he's just a privileged, rich white dude. I don't know what else to say. That's who he is. That's how they think.
Yep.
They think they're above everybody else, not just people of color. Everybody else, period. And so it is what it is. I'm not giving that a lot of thought.
No, I just, and really, to be honest with you, I don't think this is football related. I think it goes beyond football, the fact that he's playing this whole like, oh, I got arrested because I was white. No, dude, you got arrested because you broke the law. That is why you got arrested. And before we move on, let's go into week number 11 recap. New England had a bye week, so we'll get into what happened during this bye week later. Pittsburgh was at Cleveland. Ron, you had them winning. Pittsburgh winning 23-13. Final score was 10-13. I had Cleveland winning 14-10. Final score by 13. So I was off by 1 point. We talked about Cleveland, the fact that Watson is out for the remainder of the season. Said, oh, Cleveland has his problems, blah, blah, blah. But what happened this game? Because you lost to a rookie. Pittsburgh Steelers lost to a rookie. They should have scored, I don't think they should have scored 23 points, but more than 13 at least, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So is this why Matt Canada was just given the boot?
Yeah, right. So you got to score, you got to win, number one, right? You can't lose important games against,
divisional
games and then look like that as you're losing. So, the game was within our grasp, just like the last 2 weeks, right? So we were talking about Cleveland. We could be talking about this being like the third loss in a row. It just happened that we had the ball at the end of the game, and we're able to score and then play defense those final drives. But with Cleveland, we just couldn't do anything offensively whatsoever. Kenny Pickett probably had one of his worst games. Players were just completely out of sync. Running the wrong routes. They're just not on the same page, basically. So,
and you were running the ball pretty well. 172 yards compared to 96 is a lot.
Yeah, the play calling was terrible though. The way they mixed the running and passing was great, but the play designing in the passing game I thought was terrible. When we had the ball with a chance to, kick a field goal to win the game, we went 3 and out. That play calling was horrible. We threw 3 straight passes. One I think Deontay just dropped or some crap like that, and then the others was like the miscommunication. The way we were running the ball and the amount of time that was on the clock, we should have ran a couple times.
There was a couple of third and shorts where...
Oh, we were terrible on third down. I think like 3 for 15 or some crazy thing like that.
If you're running the ball at us, Jalen Brown, I know he had a big long run, but he was running it. His average was 14 yards a carry. So, and then Harris, 3 yards a carry. So you could have gotten the first down. There was a lot of 3rd and 2, 3rd and 3, where I was like, hey, this is a running play.
Well, there's a few of those. I think there was only like 4 or 5 that were like manageable, and the rest were like, we were along 3rd down. We had to throw the ball. But in that situation, you can't go 3 and out, and you can't just have 3 straight passes when you haven't done anything passing the ball all game, So it was just poor play calling at the end, and a game where the players were not all on the same page at all. And it started from the beginning with the sack off the first play. Left tackle just missed the block. You had like the tight ends who chipped. He did his part. Tackle just missed it. Stepped in the wrong direction. Allowed Kenny to get hit. Should have been safety. That basically started everything, from there. Completely. It was just horrible offensive performance.
It was terrible. Matt Canada, that's why he got fired. Pittsburgh 3 for 14 on 3rd down. Mm-hmm. That's terrible. 12 first downs compared to 20.
Yeah. Horrible.
You guys weren't moving the ball, period.
No.
Unless, there was that big long run by Warren, but other than that, it was terrible.
Yes, it was not good. We didn't block well. Warren, we didn't block well at times for him either, and he got stuffed a couple times. But there were times where we did block well, and he was able to break off some big runs. He has that explosiveness that Najee simply doesn't have. Like, unless there's like a big hole, Najee is not like busting through it. He'll drag some defenders. He just doesn't have like the energy or the speed. the athleticism to just take off where Warren does. But either way, they're a good 1-2 punch. The running game was working. It has been for the 3-4 weeks in a row. The passing game just hasn't come along. Kenny's been off. He's been a big part of it. The communication between the receivers and quarterback is just not clicking at all.
And this is. And before we move on to our upset special, I just want to the beer that I'm drinking, Lord Hobo. This is a brewery, and I'm drinking Boom Sauce.
Nice.
Yes, Boom Sauce. Listen, they're not our sponsor. I wish they were, but the beer is delicious. Okay, back. So who was your upset special, Rob?
I don't know why I picked the Jets beat the Bills. I had Jets beating the Bills 14-13. I just thought the Bills, they hadn't been playing well. So I thought the Jets would just be able to squeak out a win in Buffalo. And it was a 32-6 beatdown.
When I saw that you picked the Jets over Bills, I was just like, okay, you really, really trust Zach Wilson. Or, I know that the Jets have a good defense, but the defense is not going to score 14 points, right? I just didn't see that.
Yeah, but the Bills fired their offensive coordinator 2 weeks ago, so.
Yeah, but that usually get a uptick from the players.
Yeah.
When they fire offensive coordinator, like the players have this like bravado about them, like, yeah, we don't need him, we can do it on our own.
Yeah, but this is a Jets defense, though.
And they got embarrassed.
They did.
My pick didn't do that well either. I wanted Tennessee over Jacksonville 20-17. It was 14-34 final. It wasn't even that close. I think those 14 points came in the second half. By the first half, they were already like up by 20 something.
So Jacksonville's one of those teams. 1 week they look like trash, and you're like, damn, this is supposed to be a playoff team. And the next week they show you what they can do. I've seen a team that's more inconsistent than the Jaguars. I think they're 7-3, but when you look at some of the games, some of the 3 losses, you're like, how's this team win anything? Sometimes.
That's why I want Houston to win that division, because if Jacksonville gets that division and they get a home game, I don't have a lot of confidence that they can beat whoever that playoff team is, the wild card team. So I want Houston to do its thing and go out and win some games. All right, let's do a power ranking real quick. Ron, who is in your power rank?
So I don't think much has changed as far as who's in my top 5 this year. I got Philly, or this week, excuse me. I got who do I have? Detroit, number 1. They were number 2 last week. I got Philly falling to number 2. Baltimore, number 3. San Francisco, number 4. And Kansas City falling to 5. So same teams, just different order.
I have everybody else from last week, except I actually took out Detroit and moved up Cleveland and Miami. I do have a question. You have Detroit at number 1. Why? It's because I don't trust the defense at all. No, they give up way too many points to trust it.
For Aiden Hutchinson might be, a top candidate for Defensive Player of the Year. That dude's a beast.
Listen, I looked at the yards allowed. They're not even the top 10. That defense is not. It's not what it is, man. It's not what it is.
Don't matter.
They have a good test. I mean, not a great test, but if Green Bay can move the ball against them and get into a shootout, and it's like every game that Detroit's
Green
been.
Bay? Come on, man. They're not even remotely
I'm just saying,
on the same
that's what
level.
I'm saying. If Green Bay can move the ball on them, no way that that defense can do. I mean, the offense is obviously, compared to Miami, very prolific. The defense, I just have a problem. Yes, Hutchinson is great.
They're all young.
The secondary,
they're young guys.
they're not even. They're in like the top 15. The secondary yards allowed. Passing, not so much rushing. Rushing, I think they can stop, but passing, I don't think that I don't agree with having to choice them.
You had them 3 last week.
Yeah, and I moved them down to they're like not in my top 5 anymore because I don't trust the defense. They give up way too many points. I mean, 30 points this week, 30 points a couple weeks back. I don't trust that defense.
8-2. It must mean you're doing something right.
I did move up Cleveland because I like their defense. I don't know how much they can ride that defense with DTR as a quarterback. I know that this week they just signed Flacco and apparently he's like, I can still throw it, man. Whatever. He's going to go with DTR the rest of the week. So why even have Flacco learn the system a little bit, but I don't think he's actually going to start him. What do you think?
Absolutely not. DTR, they like him. You know, he played really well in the preseason, played decent this game. Although if you look at his statistics, I think, you know, it wasn't too far off from where Kenny Pickett was this game, but he'll do just enough to keep them in games. You know, as long as he doesn't make any mistakes, and you know they can rely on their defense to win, like they did with Pittsburgh.
And there were a lot of drop balls by the Browns.
Yeah, there was
a lot of drop balls.
If they can fix that, then they'll be okay.
I think, while watching the game on Sunday, I was like, why? The dude was like 5 yards away, but he's throwing it so hard. I'm like, you lay off. I know that you're pumped and it's your first start, but listen, you don't have to throw it so hard. I feel like a lot of the times they just weren't expecting the throw to be so hard. I mean, it is the professional.
Yeah, it's professional.
It's professional catch the ball, but still, I'm like, come on, just take a few yards off, a few velocity off. So let's move into week 12. Ron, we have New England at the New York Giants. New England is favored by 3.5. What's your prediction?
I got New England winning 16-13. Tough for me to see them coming off a bye week, not being prepared. Although that the injury list you sent me was pretty extensive. But I got them winning 16-13.
I also got them winning 17-10. Listen, Tommy DeVito. Let's talk about Tommy DeVito. First of all, that's a fictional character from Goodfellas. There's no way that you are losing to a Tommy DeVito this week. I know most Pat fans want them to tank, want them to lose this game. And during the week, I was like, all right, who is going to be the starting QB? And it looks like it's going to be Mac because he's taking most of the reps.
So what was that noise about him not being the starter? Fake news?
Fake news. This is people want to, like I sent you that clip about Bill Burr. Phones need to be lit up. They need to talk about, even if it's just fabricated. They need callers. They need something to talk about. And from everything I've seen, Bill Belichick, he's very mum about like who's starting. But I guess they split the reps this week between him and Sapp. I just feel like, listen, if you're losing games with Mac Jones, why change? If it ain't fixed, if it ain't broken, don't fix it. This is working.
Working in the sense of what, losing?
Lousy team.
Do you think they're trying? You think Bill wants to lose on purpose?
Well, they wouldn't have like 10 players in the injury list if that wasn't the case. I just feel like you can still win this game and save some kind of dignity.
You know what I want to happen to the Patriots?
What?
I want them to lose every game, right? Get the number 1 pick. Have a bunch of excitement. Who are they going to draft? Which quarterback are they going to take? And I want Bill to go up and trade the pick and not even take a quarterback with the first round.
Listen.
In Bill Belichick fashion.
I was listening to this podcast and they said that if for some reason we don't get the top 3, let's say we win against the Giants and win against the Jets. Let's say something fictional. We don't get the top picks. We might actually trade that because now there's no point in getting Marvin Harrison. He's probably going to be gone. There's no point getting these QBs that, Bo Nix, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Talking about Caleb Williams, talking about Drake May. what's the point then? If he's not gonna be available, trade down. And
they'll be available if you got the
not
because look at the teams. So the teams that have the first few picks, some of them don't need quarterbacks.
What I was saying, Ron, is that if all those players are quote unquote off the board by the time it's Pat's turn, I can see them. If Bill Belichick's still there, which all signs point to him coming back, I can see him trading down because he has his eyes. They were trying to prop up this guy from LSU, the quarterback, saying that
he got hurt. Yeah,
he might be available in the second round. Maybe that's what they do. I don't know. Listen, I haven't looked at the draft for like 20 years because I always knew Tom Brady was gonna be there. I was like, it doesn't matter who they draft. We got Tom Brady. Now I'm actually looking at like, hey, we need superstars in this team. There's only so many that you can take. So I am cautiously optimistic that these players will be there, but we don't know. Just don't. Pittsburgh at Cincinnati. Pittsburgh, it's favored by 1 point. Ron, what's your prediction?
Yeah, I got the Steelers winning 17-14. I'm not confident that we'll win. We just saw them lose to a rookie quarterback. So
Browning scares you?
My offense scares me. Not being able to score scares me. So we'll see, if anything looks different from Pittsburgh's standpoint. I think their defense will play well. They'll be okay. But can we score enough points to win? So that'll be the test. I do have them having that energy, excitement coming out, and that pushing them and propelling them to a victory.
Yeah, I have them winning also 17-6. I think Cincinnati is going to struggle. I think Cincinnati, without Burrows there and Browning as a quarterback, even if he gets in the hands of the playmakers, I don't think that he's going to have the opportunity. I think the Steelers defense should come out big in this game. So I got them winning 17-6. Ron, who is your upset special for Week 12?
So I'm going to the Minnesota game. So they're favored 3.5 over Chicago. The Vikings are at home. Chicago just got Fields back last week. He looked pretty decent. I got Chicago winning 24-23.
In Chicago, I think they were playing Detroit. Detroit had to come back to win that game. Why are you struggling with the Chicago Bears? Come on, Detroit defense. Come on, guys. Come on. You should not struggle with Chicago Bears.
Justin Fields could still go out there and rush for like 100 yards on you. And next thing you know, you're looking up, being 2 scores down.
I don't know. They gave up like 20-something points to the Chicago Bears. Come on, guys. Come on. My upset special for the week, I got Buffalo at Philly. Philly's favored by 3.5 points. I got Buffalo beating them 24-21. The over-under is 48 points. I don't know if Philly gives up 24 points. I just feel like they beat up on the Jets and they have a pretty good defense. I don't know if Philly has the same defense as the Jets, but I have Buffalo winning this game. I don't think that Buffalo is out. They can still get a wild card at this, right?
Yeah, they're definitely still in it, right? Sometimes all it takes is one win. They did that last week. Let's see if they can, bounce off of that and get another one. Now, this is a much tougher opponent. Philly wasn't, all that impressive against Kansas City, even though they held off to win it. Kansas City should have won the game on Monday. So I can see Buffalo winning the game. It's just going to be difficult in Philly. So
very, very difficult. They are 6-5 right now. If they win the game and they go 7-5, I can see them, maybe sneaking in as a wild card. And even if they win, I think that they can get Miami. Miami 7-3. We don't know. Well, they're playing the Jets. Black Friday. I mean, who's the Jets? Sat down Zach Wilson, right? They're gonna go with
third string.
They're gonna go with the third string. How how bad of a quarterback must be that you're like going to your third string at the start?
No, he's going to the third string. He's not even being the backup. So they're going with, I forgot who they're even going with for this game. It doesn't really matter. They needed to make a change. Wilson wasn't playing that well. So they need a spark. And hopefully for them, this gives them that spark to get some wins. So,
yeah, this is
defense, by the way, can't let them off the hook, right? So they played horribly. They got to play much better against a much more explosive unit in the Dolphins.
And what I wanted to end it with is, I know tomorrow is Thanksgiving. We're recording this on 11/22, and we have 3 games. Ron, I know this wasn't on the docket, but I wanna know, out of these 3 games, which one do you interest you the most? And I'm gonna read them to you. We got the Packers at the Lions. We got the Commanders at Cowboys, and we have the Niners at the Seahawks. Which of these games interest you the most?
Wow. This is a tough one. I'd probably go with the Cowboys Commanders. Commanders, are 4-7. I think they'll play them tough. I'm not a Cowboys fan.
You still riding the Sam Howell
I am.
train?
Yeah. Leads the league in passing, right?
Oh, good for him.
Yeah.
He lost 3 interceptions last week against Tommy DeVito.
Okay. Still leads the league. I think all of these games will be pretty good. Knock on wood. The 49ers Seahawks should be really good to end the night. The Lions, they got to come out and take care of business. They're a much better team than the Packers. So I do plan on trying to watch all 3 of these games. I got to drive all the way to Vero Beach to my aunt's house. So I'll probably be there right around kickoff for the first game. And I'll probably be on my way back as the second game starts. So I'll probably miss at least half of that second game.
I'm hopeful that by 8:20 I'm already at home to watch the Niners Seahawks game. I think Cowboys should handle business. I know Commanders, it's almost like Ron Rivera is on his way out.
Yes. He better be.
This is basically a game where, and I don't think that somebody else is going to give him a job. This is basically his last hurrah, so to speak. And the Packers-Lions, if the Packers score more than 20 points, I definitely am out on the Lions. The Lions are at home. They need to just clamp down on the Packers and show everybody that they're a real team. If the defense doesn't want to clamp down, I don't know what to say, Lions. You're gonna be subjected to stiff competition when you get into. Yeah. I just don't know. I don't know if Detroit's up to it. The other game that we have is the Black Friday game. Dolphins at Jets.
3:00.
3:00. It's some Prime Video.
Who came up with that time?
Jeff Bezos. That's who came up with that time.
Why is it not like a prime time, like a night game? I know Black Friday's basically a holiday for a lot of people, but
I know the banks are open, but who cares? Like the stock exchange is open. Who cares? Listen, the Dolphins should handle business in this game. They should not sniff around with the Jets. They should not make it they're favored by 9.5 points, which is pretty high. The over and under is 40.5. So Dolphins, if you're a real team, you should take care of business. But again, this is on the road, and we know that the Dolphins are like Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. Will the real Dolphins show up for this game? What I'm trying to say.
Yeah, I think they win. I think the Jets defense will play a little bit better, but offensively, the Jets have too much firepower for the Jets. So they should win, and they should win by that spread, 9.5. Wouldn't be shocking if they go over that spread.
Yes, I wouldn't be shocking if they even the over and under. I think that they can easily go over 40 points, especially if the Jets
do anything.
Do anything in
Yeah.
offense. Like, even if they just score one touchdown, I can see Miami doing like a 30-point hit. So that's pretty much it for the week. Ron, do you have anything to say to the Steelers fan out there?
A happy Thanksgiving. It came early with Matt Canada's firing, but happy Thanksgiving tomorrow, or whenever you're listening to this. Enjoy your Thanksgiving meal with your family, and go Steelers.
Yeah, definitely. Listen, be safe out there. If you're traveling, get to your destination in one piece. And then whatever you do, do not fry the turkey. I feel like I work for the fire department. Don't fry the turkey. I know that it comes out moist. I think my brother-in-law did it one time and then it came out moist, but he said, I will never, ever do this again. So if you are listening, don't fry the turkey. Other than that, listen, enjoy 3 games on the docket. Maybe not all of them great, but at least you'll know where the teams are. I know Thursday games are like hit or miss. Even though that game against Baltimore and Cincinnati could have been a great game, but Burrows got hurt.
Yeah.
So with that said, I say peace.
Hey guys, thanks again for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Any questions or comments, feel free to hit us up on shutyourmouthpodcast@gmail.com. That's shutympodcast@gmail.com. You can also hit us on Twitter or on Instagram at SYM Podcast. Thanks again.